I've been working with Microsoft for, now it's going to go on 8 years. Now I've been lucky enough to just like spend time with everything. I work with their philanthropy team. I spend time with their AI for Good labs. And it's cool because it's like a university, but I get to add value at the same time. And so they gave me a fun title, Chief Questions Officer, which I think means I'm an idiot, but they wanted to give me a nice title. But yeah, it's just been it's really been a wonderful break from everything else that I do. And
I love that. You're kind of like somewhere between a savant and a jester and just an ideas guy and just a cheerleader. I think have you met Bill Gates?
I have, yeah. I've had many conversations with him.
You're friendly with him?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Do you think on the internet, I mean, to look for logic on the internet is a fool's errand, right? But do you think he gets a bad rap?
Oh, he does. He does, definitely. But I think he and I've spoken to him about this. The thing with Bill is he's so sort of like logical in what he's doing and how he's doing it that sometimes he takes for granted the value of appearances. And I can get that coming from like a tech world. Like if you want to see like who Bill Gates was, go back and watch some of his stuff around when Microsoft was going through its antitrust case back in the day when they were being broken up. He was pretty headstrong about things. He's just like, no, I don't care. This is what we're doing. This is how we are. And I think maybe that's been his gift, but that's probably also been his curse, is that he's a little too logical and straightforward. In his head, if it makes sense, it makes sense. So if he goes, he thinks to himself, he's like, this is the way we're going to fight malaria, and we've talked to the experts, and this is how we roll it out. I think sometimes he hasn't given as much credence or value to the idea of people accepting that this solution to malaria is actually good for them. And yeah, Bill Gates has definitely been turned into like a boogeyman on the internet.
He's like one of the top 10 boogeymen, and I think that the internet narrative is that he was trying to chip people by by stealth using the COVID vaccine as a way of doing it, right? And thereby usher in some kind of one world government, or I don't really know. It's extraordinary what an important role he occupies in a certain conspiracy narrative. I wonder if he knows that.
I think he does. And I asked him about it. I love asking him about these things. Even when he was on my podcast, I actually asked him about it blatantly. I was like, okay, are you chipping us? Even though I think some of these things are ridiculous, it's like, help me understand. Why are you the largest farm owner in America? Are you trying to, rig the food system? What are you doing? And then he explains it. And then I ask another question. And I go like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to microchip people? And he answers the question. The thing is, he's not. But what's more interesting to me than the truth of it is how it's helped me understand the narratives that we create and shape in the world, and how it's almost made me realize that one of the downsides of losing religion in the world is that we've now had to create devils where before we had one. Mm-hmm. Before the devil was like this beautiful, clear concept that everyone agreed upon. And every Sunday we would check in with each other to be like, we still fighting the devil? Everyone's fighting the devil. All right, we'll see you next week. And I think maybe it's a human need. I don't know. We almost need a devil. Otherwise, why are things happening and why are they going wrong? And who's doing this? And the idea that it's just happening, I think troubles the human mind. Like it makes us feel helpless.
Yeah.
So you have to find a devil. And when you find a devil, it becomes so much easier to live your life, because now when it goes wrong, you go, it's because of the devil. It's that devil. And now we've just made those devils people, I think.
Well, I think it was always people as well. And, during the pandemic, I read a book called The Great Mortality, which was about the Black Death, 1347 to 49, when a third of the European population died. And when people started dying mysteriously from plague, job one was, well, we don't really know what's causing this. Let's round up the Jews and basically throw them down a well, right? I mean, literally, not across the board. Like in a way, it's more instructive to reflect on the fact that there were some people who said, like, this is crazy and barbaric, like even then in the 14th century. But there'd be enough people to say, well, maybe, but maybe not. It's worth a shot. And the level of atrocities leveled at the Jewish community was really instructive and kind of extraordinary and shocking. And so I think it's always been the case that we've looked for human scapegoats, but the idea being that, they're enthralled to the devil. I mean, in a sense, we've got a slightly more secularized version of that now by trying to find people who are, active sort of malefactors.
Yeah.